We are not live. Okay, let's see if we can stay live. Just had to start the broadcast a couple times. Very, very strange. It says live and then it flips back to ready on the Video Pro, like I need to start it again, and then I stop it and start it again. I actually did that twice. This is a little bit bizarre, but looks like we might be live. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find it here on my iPad. There it is on the Video Pro, and it looks like we are live, I guess. We'll let the folks in the chat confirm that we're live, and I have to apologize for a little bit of moire. This Kenneth Gordon shirt that I'm wearing, linen shirt, has a pattern to it, so of course the camera, the bandwidth and all, it just can't handle it, can't handle the detail. Hopefully YouTube will muster up more bandwidth and the camera will be able to handle patterns, and this problem will go away with time and with improvements in the systems. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, this is the Heirloom collection. This is a shirt by Kenneth Gordon, made in the United States of America. I think they still are, a lot of Kenneth Gordon shirts. They're owned by Gitman Brothers now. Gitman Brothers bought them out. Gitman Brothers makes shirts in Pennsylvania. I have some Gitman Brothers shirts as well. And so folks asked me a while back, what do you do when it starts getting hot and you don't want to wear a tie and all that? Well, I don't wear ties all the time. I wear them in the wintertime a lot because they help keep me warm. But a lot of times when the weather gets warm, I'll wear a nice shirt with the sleeves rolled up just like I'm doing right now. I'll do that in a lot of circumstances. Now, sometimes I do want to wear a tie depending on the event. I'm going to a funeral or something or whatever, you know, where you really want to wear a tie. I'll wear a summer weight suit and I'll wear a tie in the summertime, but it's not as much fun in the summertime. The wintertime, it's great. It helps keep you warm. So we're going to talk about Steve. Steve is getting all geared up, and it's going to be really cool because he's going to start doing some shows. And the thumbnail showed the Roland switcher. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail, but it's the same switcher I'm using here. And I could show you a shot of it, but the camera I normally have on it is not focused on it. But basically it allows him to switch 4 camera feeds, and he's going to have, he has some pretty decent cameras, so he should be set with that. So we should have some pretty good content coming from Steve. He's got 20 brands, 20 plus brands there, and I'll bring up his website here showing you some of the brands that he has that he can talk about. I'm looking forward to him talking more about these Citizen watches. I'm starting to get kind of interested in some of the ultra-thin Citizen watches. So it'd be interesting to hear some information about the higher-end Citizen watches. So you can see a bunch of brands, some of them micro brands. So it's going to be kind of neat for Steve to be able to answer questions about all these different kinds of things and events and so forth. He's very active in the watch community, as you all know. And so I think he's going to be able to bring some interesting content to the channel. So hopefully, he's supposed to get the switcher on Thursday. He might do a show as soon as Friday of this week. And he definitely wants to try to get everything geared up so he can do a live stream from the event, which is on the 9th, which is a week from Thursday, I believe. And so, folks, and if you haven't registered for that event, go to his website, littletreasury.com, and register for the event. And if you're from out of town, go ahead and send him an email as well. Register and also send him an email to steve@littletreasury.com, steve@littletreasury.com, so he can make sure he takes good care of you while you're in town. Durr's in the house. Blue shirt Buddha's in the house. And he's on the road. He's in motion, making things happen. David is in the house. And, of course, Carlos, I wish we could twist Carlos's arm and get him to come up to the event. Everybody would love to see Carlos at the event. They're having a training session in the morning. I understand that Steve is making that available to the out-of-town guests, the VIPs from my channel. So if you're coming and you're going to be there early in the morning, the day of the event, talk to Steve and he can get you into that. The Grand Seiko officials are having a special training session that morning. I think it's from 8 to 10 a.m., so it's early. So if you're coming in the night before and staying over and you're going to be in town, I understand a couple of the travelers have already made arrangements to be there. So that's going to be really, really cool to be able to be a part of that as well. So a lot of fun things going on. And here we go with some EDC items. And we were talking yesterday about gold and how it's soft as butter and you can't make anything out of gold because it's not going to hold up and so on and so forth. That money clip, you can see all the fine little scratches on it like a patina. And you can see that it looks pretty cool, okay? And I've had that for about 20, 25 years of heavy use in the pocket all the time with metallic things banging against it, anything from coins to pocket knives to you name it, banging against that thing all the time. And it looks fantastic. I sent Steve an email but never heard back from him on hotel accommodations. Are you sure that you sent it to the right address? Steve@littletreasury.com. Steve@littletreasury.com. He would love to hear from you. So if you're not hearing back from him by email, please get in touch with him because he's made special arrangements for the people from out of town to stay at the same place where the Grand Seiko people are staying. And he's making a lot of special arrangements for those of you that are coming in from out of town. So please get in touch with Steve. If you have to just call him on the phone, do it the old-fashioned way. Call him on the phone. He knows who you are. If not, just tell him you're a member of the Wrench Gang. But he's got some VIP treatment for you guys that are coming in from out of town. So definitely get in touch with him. I was looking at the Grand Seiko 9F quartz model with the champagne dial and the Seiko Shogun. Which would be the better choice? What's the size of the model that you're looking at? And that's a factor because the Shogun is, fairly good size. It's not quite as big as this watch, a little bit thinner than this watch. And I think the diameter is about the same as this watch. From what I remember, I had one for a couple of years, a Shogun. I've got a review on my channel here. It's a hell of a watch. But if you want something more compact, something thinner that you can wear under a dress cuff, then the 9F is a really good option. Steve, I believe, has made arrangements for me to look at the new GMT, the model, the 9F with the GMT function, the one with the blue dial. I've got a picture of it here. I believe he's going to have this watch in stock for me to take a look at and give me first right of refusal on it if I decide I want to lock and load on that. So we've been talking about that watch for a while, and the interesting thing about that watch is it's 39 millimeters and it's only 12 mils thick. So it really does hug the wrist, and with the shape of the case and the shape of the lugs and all, it really does hug the wrist. So this watch does not make a good all-arounder for dress purposes and sport and all that. This is more a sport watch. And it's a gorgeous sport watch, I think. But it will not fit the bill as an all-arounder, at least not for me. My wrists are kind of large for the size shirts that I have. So some of you probably have seen in other videos, some of my shirt cuffs are kind of tight. And this watch just doesn't get it. It just doesn't get under those shirt cuffs, not quite. So that's why I'm looking at something that could be more of an all-arounder for me. So hopefully he'll have that at the event and I can take a look. Here's a close-up. Let me see here. Get the mic a little closer. Here's a close-up of this watch. You see how it fits to the wrist? It fits pretty nicely to the wrist, but it's still not as trim and thin as that 9F unit. It is a gorgeous piece. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't gorgeous, okay? So that's how that is. So, anyway, it's always something. Always decisions. Let's see here. Sorry, I meant sumo. Oh, sumo. No, I don't. I think I would pass on the sumo. Let's see. I just purchased a Seiko SBDC 031 Shogun. A big, heavy bruiser of a dive watch. But, well, the Shogun's not. The Shogun is titanium. I had the SBDC 007. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I think you're talking about the Sumo there. Yeah, exactly. That's the steel one. Yeah, so no, I would pass on that. Well-deserved wholesale price for Craig, I hope. Carlos in the house. Steve has always given me good deals. I mean, he gave me a good deal on the first watch I bought when he didn't really know who I was. He'll give you a good deal. If you're paying cash, I had cash money in my hand. Okay? Cash talks. Trust me, it does. Okay, David Williams says, next time go to Horal. Okay. They are the only GS dealer in Novato. And somebody there is the best salesperson there. Okay. I don't know how you can have a better salesperson, though, than the Stevester. Okay, so Durr says, okay, I'll be back in a few. Going to call Steve to get the scoop on the event so I can make my arrangements. Absolutely, Durr. Absolutely. And let us know. Let us know in the chat how that goes, because we might still be broadcasting by then. We'll see. Yes, give Steve. Oh, I didn't drink any H2O. I got to drink a little H2O here. Yes, give Steve a call. I'm all set for next week. David in the house. David's in motion, making things happen. Craig, what is more stunning watch? Rolex Datejust 41, blue dial, fluted bezel, or Yachtmaster blue dial as only watch? I would go with the Yachtmaster. The Datejust 41 to me just looked a little bit big. If I was going to go for the Datejust, tell you the truth, I'd go right on back down to the 36 mil personally. What size wrist do you have? Let me know. That's some input that would be good to have. But I definitely would, between those two, between the Datejust and the Yachtmaster, I would probably go with the Yachtmaster. The Yachtmaster is only 11.7 mils thick, I think. I mean, I think it's actually a little thinner than the Datejust, if you can believe that. That's amazing. The only thing about the Yachtmaster that I don't like, we've talked about this before, is the polished center links. But everything else about it is so super cool that I would probably give it a pass on that issue with the polished center links. So if I wanted to save some money, I'd probably back down to a Datejust 36 with the white gold fluted bezel and a Jubilee bracelet and call it a day, and that could be a forever watch. That could be a lifetime watch. That GMT 9F GS is classic and a wonderful size and height. It would make a great watch for work and leisure. There you go. I'm gonna look at it. I hope he has it. He says he's going to have it there for me to look at. So they're getting to be hard to get. Especially the one with the blue dial. There's not that many of them around. There's no videos on YouTube. I searched on YouTube. Tim has a really good review of the same model with the black dial. He's got a great video showing it, and you can see it really hugs his wrist when he shows the wrist shot. But no, there aren't any good videos showing the blue dial watch. We have a few of our live streams that we had it in when Steve was showing one, but nothing where somebody's done like an in-depth review of it. Your last, jeez. I think I'm going to cancel LastPass. I'm experimenting with LastPass. I think that thing's a fail. Okay. No complaining with Steve. Steve. No comparing with Steve. Steve is the owner. There you go. So 7.5-inch wrist size. Oh, pretty good size wrist. I would still go with the Yachtmaster, though, over the 41 Datejust, personally. It's going to be a little more money, but it's stunning. It really is a stunning watch. Folks, let me know what you guys think in the chat about that. Let's get some input on that. Datejust 41 versus a Yachtmaster with the blue dial. Yachtmaster with the blue dial is stunning. Let's see, I think I had a picture of one here somewhere. Speak of the devil. There you go. Speak of the devil. That's a stunning watch with that platinum bezel. Are you kidding me? That's what the Submariner should have been. And, you know, they were coming out with that to actually replace the Submariner, and they decided not to. But that's got a much more beautiful case than the Submariner. That's just a gorgeous watch. I'll tell you what would be stunning. It would be that watch with a Jubilee bracelet. Would be absolutely stunning. And get rid of those polished center links, but oh well, it is what it is. So as my only watch, Shogun or Grand Seiko 9F quartz. The 9F, I'm getting more and more enamored with the 9F. I think it's an amazing piece. If you can find one that really has a case design that you like and a dial that you like, and it checks all the boxes, I would lock and load on it. But I would look at all those things. Look at the dial, look at the bracelet, look at everything about the watch and make sure that it gets the job done for you. And then I would go for it. It's going to be more money, though, I think, than the Shogun. The Shogun you should be able to buy for about $800 new, I think. I haven't checked for a while, but I would think. I would love to see a Yachtmaster with a steel President bracelet. Yeah, they're not going to do a steel President bracelet, but like I say, a Jubilee would be a stunner. Craig, I'm interested in the same 9F. Uh-oh. We might have to have a bidding war. We might have to have a bidding war on the 9F. If you can wait, he's got some more coming in May. I asked him towards the end of May. I asked him if he could get more for the event. He's having trouble getting just one for me. I told him, I said, I think you're going to need more. And he said that they're tricky to get right now. But he is going to have more later in the month of May. So, but if you want one, I'd get down on it. I'd get a deposit down because especially if I get one, trust me, if I get one, I'm going to do some videos on it. And they will be in short supply because their supply lines are not that great anyway. They don't have that much supply of these watches, folks. This is not like Rolex. These are not mass-produced watches. Some of them are getting to be hard to get. I think Watchbox has an 18-karat Yachtmaster up for grabs. Very attractive watch. Whoa, okay. I considered that exactly, and I went for the Datejust 36 fluted Jubilee with 7.5-inch wrist, but all are super nice. Yeah, Carlos's looks great, and it looks great on his wrist. It's really a nice. I think the Datejust 36 is the way to go. Absolutely, I agree with that. Rolex Datejust 36 or 41. Is better. Again, I personally, I would go with the 36. I think it's even more versatile because, I mean, the 36 is a classic size that can go with any outfit, any situation. The 41 in some situations is going to look kind of big and just kind of look kind of clunky. This huge watch craze thing with the oversized watches, unless you're buying an outright sport watch like a diver or something like that, those being bigger is okay. But if you're getting an all-arounder, I really don't think you want something bigger than, 39 mils is what that is what the 9F is, and I think they nailed it. Let me see if I can pull that up again. Yeah, I think they nailed it on the size at 39 mils with 12 mils thick. I think that's going to be a sweet spot. But you get up over 40 mils to 41, and I think you're pushing it a little bit there. Let's see here. David says, no bidding war can wait. This is not urgent. Well, there you go. That's a man that, see, be intentional. Be intentional. Take your time. Make these decisions, these big purchase decisions. You know, be judicious, I say. I love my GS SBGH 267. The finish and workmanship is just stunning. Well, there you go. What do you think of used Breitlings? I bought a Colt GMT diver with date window and 500-meter depth rating, box and papers for $1,650. It's more practical than my 14060 no date sub for daily wear. Well, there you go. How thick is that watch? I'm not a big fan of Breitlings, but it sounds like you got a good deal. Let's see. RJ Lane went by my AD last week and saw a maxi case gold sub, which looks great in photos, but seeing the maxi case in person, I'm stunned how nice the older sub cases are. I have new love from old sub. Yes, absolutely. And that's why I say, look at the case design on this Yachtmaster. Look how much better that case looks. Look at the lugs. I mean, it's just much more attractive. Wish it would show a side view. Well, there's kind of a side view. Much, much more attractive. It's not even a close call. I don't understand these people defending the maxi case. Oh, well, you have to have the heavier lugs in case you bump it against a rock. As if it's going to make any difference if the stainless steel is twice as thick or not. It's still going to be plenty strong. You know, come on. And they're like, well, and later you might need to have it polished, and having that extra metal so you can have it polished. I'm going to have them polished like a 1/4 inch of stainless steel off of my watch. Are you kidding me? What are you people on? They're trying to rationalize it. It's ugly, and I'll just pass on it. That's how I'll do that. Yes, I agree. 39 mil is max for a watch. I'm starting to like 37 to 39 millimeter watch here. 41 mil and higher are just too bulky. Yeah, it's got to be a straight up sport watch, like a diver or something like that, to be bigger. I think makes sense. But other than that, I'm and see, the advantage this watch has is it's much lighter because it's titanium, and the way the lugs are shaped, it really does wear more like a 40 mil. It really does. I'm not just saying that because I have it. I've had both. I've had 40 mil Rolex sport watches, both the GMTs and Submariners, and this wears about the same because of the weight difference and because of the shape of the lugs and all that, and the way it kind of shapes to your hand and the way the bracelet's designed. You know, they did a good job, but still, yeah, I agree. Craig, the Breitling Colt GMT is 40.5 and 13.5 thick. That's not bad. This one's 14, so that one's a little bit thinner than this. That's not bad at all, and smaller diameter-wise at 40.5. That's very interesting. Let's see. I hope they release a new sub in the next 2 to 3 years, as my son wants one as a college graduation gift. Yeah, but I don't think they're going to fix the lugs, Carlos. I would be shocked if they fixed the lugs. They seem to be totally all in on that maxi case thing. It'd be nice if they did. Just your opinion. You're not the authority on what looks good or not. Yes, I am, Steve. I am the authority. Okay? You didn't get the memo? Folks, let's get a memo over to Steve Steve D, so that we can get everything clarified on who the authority is and who isn't. So there you go. That's funny. Just your opinion. Are you kidding me? Why would I waste my time giving my opinion? Nobody cares about my opinion. I only deal in facts on this channel. Just the facts, miss. I'm Sergeant Friday. Just the facts. Here's my timeless razor that I used to shave prior to the show. I used the timeless razor, which is made in these United States of America. There's their stainless steel little base. There's the razor. Just the facts. Just the facts. There's my Chris Reeves Sebenza 21 with the factory edge on it. And there is my gold money clip that's been beat all to you-know-what and back and still holds up great. Those are the facts. Those are the facts. Just your opinion. Okay. Here we can challenge Craig's opinions constructively. Absolutely you can. And by the way, somebody asked me about Bitcoin today. Speaking of opinions. Craig, would you ever wear a tie with a button-down collar? Yes, I have. It's kind of a pain. You have to unbutton the button and button it back after you tie the tie. Yeah, I do. I've worn them in the past. Years ago, I used to wear a lot of button-down collars with ties. Now I wear, a lot of times I'll wear the button-down collar with an open collar without the tie. And then if I'm wearing a tie, I'll wear a straight collar. But yeah, you can absolutely do that, especially with a sport coat or something like that. Absolutely. A high-quality button-down shirt is very versatile. If you're only going to buy, let's say, a half dozen dress shirts, you might as well buy them all button-down collars. Buy 3 white and 3 blue, and you're good to go. And you can wear that button-down collar shirt with jeans with the sleeves rolled up, the blue one. You can wear it with a tie with a blue blazer, with a Harris tweed jacket, with a cashmere sport coat. I mean, that's very versatile. Very versatile stuff. Let's see what else we're talking about. Bitcoins. So this guy asked me, he says, I've been thinking about buying Bitcoin, and I heard about it. I heard about it about 5 years ago, when it was about $30 a coin, and I thought, well, maybe I should buy some, and then I heard you talking about it a couple of years ago when it was about $1,200 a coin, and I was thinking about it, and I'm not really sure when I should buy it, and I told him, I said, here's the deal. I said, you should have bought it whenever you could have bought it. The longer you wait, the more you're going to have to pay. That's what I said. Don't you notice a trend here? Every time you pass on buying it, the next time you look at it, it's up higher. That should tell you something. That's funny. So I first saw it when it was $30 and then $1,250, and now it's $5,000. I'm not really sure what to do. Oh, well. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to do. I used to wear tie with button down, now almost exclusively with spread collar or straight collar. Yeah, David, I don't like the spread collars that much. I've got a few of them. I just think they look kind of funny. The spread collar. I much prefer a straight collar. Of course, I'm kind of on the conservative side, so that would make sense as far as all that goes. But anyway, so getting back to Bitcoin, I want to demonstrate something here. About stop losses and all this kind of stuff. Buying low, selling high, all of that. Okay, so let me see if I can log into my account. Okay, here's my account. So, having said that, almost never wear a tie now in the Southwest U.S. Well, one advantage to the standards of the way people dress, like going in the toilet, is, like I said, even if you just wear a decent shirt with the sleeves rolled up like I'm doing now, you're dressed like better than like 99% of the people out there, right? so that the standards have been lowered so much that you don't have to do much. If you're just wearing a nice shirt, a nice pair of Bill's khakis, I highly recommend Bill's khakis, also made in these United States, and then like a nice alligator belt, okay, and of course a nice watch, and maybe a nice pen. You're like way ahead of like 90% of anybody you're going to bump into out in the wild, okay, and of course in some nice shoes. And I really highly recommend moccasin construction shoes, like from Russell Moccasin Company. They're so comfortable, and you can get a pair custom made for your feet for around $500 that are just out of this freaking world, and they'll last a lifetime. Let's see. Craig, do you think that Bitcoin is strong currency and it's probably will not crash in the future? Good question. Okay, so let me show you something on Bitcoin. Here's my Coinbase Pro account. And right now, and I typically don't like trade in Bitcoin a lot. I don't like buy and sell a lot. I do occasionally trade a Bitcoin here and there. Most of my Bitcoin is in cold storage in my hardware wallet, okay, and out of harm's way and safe. And that's just long-term holding. Hold on for dear life, hodl, right? But I do have a couple of Bitcoins in play right now. And as you can see there, I've got a buy order in for 1.357 Bitcoin at $3,800. So if Bitcoin takes a dive and goes down to $3,800, I'll buy 1.357 Bitcoin. And then I've got a stop in for the one Bitcoin that I have in this account, in this online trading account. I've got a stop in at 5,100. So if Bitcoin goes down to 5,100, that'll execute, and that Bitcoin will be liquidated for $5,100. So that's a stop loss, right? So those are two tools that you can use, and it's very cheap to trade in here. I mean, the trade costs, like 50 cents or something. I mean, it's ridiculous how cheap the fees are if you do it this way. And so I'm kind of covering myself. If the Bitcoin that I have in this account, if it keeps going up, I'm good. Okay, it'll just sit there and just the value will keep going up. If all of a sudden it takes a dive, I'll be liquidated out of it at around $5,100. And then if it keeps going down, I'll grab another one at 3,800. I'll buy 1.357. And so then I'll have some cash in my account and I'll have another Bitcoin. So I'm kind of playing it either way. If it goes up or down, I've got a plan, right? So that's what I recommend, is that you have a plan. Whichever way it goes, you kind of try to cover yourself. And here's the thing. If I end up with a couple of Bitcoin here and I end up stuck with it, let's say the value goes down some more, I'll just hold it until the next run up. I'm not going to panic and sell it at a loss like a lot of people did in late 2017 when it went way up, and then people bought it at like 18,000 or something, and then it went down, right, and started crashing, and people panicked and sold it at like 8,000 or something. I mean, what in the hell were they thinking? Why can't they just hold? I guess they probably put it on their credit card. They went in debt to buy it or something. But anyway, nobody knows. The answer to your question is nobody knows if Bitcoin is going to survive for the long haul and if it's going to continue to perform well like it's done the last 10 years. It's performed extremely well the last 10 years. Nobody knows if that's going to continue or not. And if somebody tells you they know, I don't know how they would know, because there's no way to know, okay? I think it's a good idea to have a small portion of your net worth in something like Bitcoin, just in case it does what it potentially can do. I think it's really cool. And I also think that it's a great project. I think it's good to have strong, sound store of value that can't be diluted by a central bank or by a government, or controlled by a central bank or a government. I think the whole concept of Bitcoin is really, really super cool. So that's why I own Bitcoin. That's why I bought Bitcoin many, many years ago, because I believed in it then and I still believe in it now. All right, let me catch up with the questions here. Okay, we talked about Bitcoin. And by the way, strong currency, it's been extremely robust the last 10 years. It's never been hacked. It's just functions like it should function. It has been absolutely robust the last 10 years. So I think it's got a real good chance of succeeding. Let's see. My son uses my collection of bullfighter ties more than me. Well, there you go. Bullfighter theme stamped. Okay. Craig, do you use collar stays? If so, are they 18 karat yellow gold? No, I don't. I don't take the time to use collar stays. My collars are, when I wear a tie with my collars, they stay fine. I don't have any problem with it, and so I don't think it's really necessary. So I've never used them. It'd be nice, so if you did use them, to have an 18 karat gold. If you had an 18 karat gold watch to match, that would make sense. Durr in the house. What time was that GS training going on again? Friday the 10th? No, it's not Friday. No, I think it's Thursday. I thought it was Thursday. You better check with Steve. I thought it was the morning of the event. From like 8 a.m. until, I think he said from like 8 to 10. You better double check with Steve on that. I'm not going. I'm not getting there that early in the morning. I'm an hour and a half drive from there, so no, I'm not getting up that early in the morning. I'm too old for all that stuff. You youngsters can do all that. Nicer than Jamonis and horseshoes. No, okay. Hodl. Hold on for dear life. Okay. Our wags in the house. And what's neat is the fees are so low on Coinbase Pro that you can do a lot of wheeling and dealing, and it doesn't get eaten up by heavy fees. Fees are very low if you do the right kind of trades. You can check on what their rates are, but they're very low. So I don't know if it's going to go down to 3,800 for me to execute that one buy order there. I don't know that that's going to fill, but if it does, it does. See, sometimes you'll get a big sell-off and you'll get a rapid dip down, and if you've got that order already placed, you can snag some for a great price. I mean, it's very volatile. One thing about Bitcoin is it is proven to be very volatile. Let's see here. Somebody says Friday 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. How come that's acting like it was me made the comment? Who is able to comment as me? Somebody hacked my account? That's weird, because I didn't type that in. CraigShip Friday 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Very strange. Okay, so, oh, maybe that's Steve logged into my account. So Steve, indicate in the chat if that was you that put that in there. Friday 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So that means people have to stay over. The event's on Thursday, correct? Can you clarify what's going on? If that's you, Steve, in there, just clarify, because we're all a little bit confused right now. Craig, party Thursday, training Friday a.m. Okay, so David is clarifying. So some of you all are probably going to be there for a couple days in town, huh? Is that the idea? With the whiskey stock that Steve told, I assume not everyone will be joining training. I'm not going to be joining training. I can tell you that right now. Durr says, should I be able to make a 1:16 p.m. flight out of Maryland if I go to the training on Friday. The airport is pretty close. I think the airport's only like 10 or 15 minutes away. So if you go to training on Friday, and it's only from, what they say, 8 to 10 a.m., so, yeah, you should be fine. Yeah, I think you're going to be fine with that, Durr. You won't be able to dilly-dally around a lot after the training, but yeah, as long as you leave by 10:30, you'll be at the airport by 11. I mean, that's 2 hours before. That's fine. I'm assuming you're going to have carry-on only. I doubt you're going to have checked bags. You should be fine. Of course, I don't like to fly, period, but that's just me. I'm weird about that. I'd rather travel in a motor coach. So let's see here. Do you think we will be seeing a new watch on the channel? And when, if so? Do you think we'll be seeing a new watch on the channel? On this channel? Well, I'm going to be looking at a watch at Steve's party a week from Thursday. So I may have a new watch, but we'll see. I have to really like it. It has to really blow me away before I'm going to lock and load. That's the way I am. And he's claiming he's going to have one there for me to look at. So we'll see how all that goes. Let's see. Durr's in the house. Perfect booking now. Okay. Let's see here. So would your final answer be Shogun or GS 9F Quartz? Sorry for the multiple questions. Just a super hard decision for me. Haha. Can you call in on Skype and we can talk about it? Are you able to Skype into the show? I'll give you my Skype via email. If you want to Skype in, send an email to my name, CraigShipp@gmail.com, CraigShipp@gmail.com. And if you can Skype in, if you've got Skype on your phone or whatever, we can bring you into the show. We can talk about it. Otherwise, put the model number of the 9F Quartz that you want. There's a bunch of 9F Quartz watches. So I know the Shogun. So I know that part of the equation. I need to know specifically which 9F Quartz you're looking at. And then I'll bring it up here on the screen and we'll talk about it. Absolutely, we'll talk about a 9F. Jason in the house. Good evening, gents. There you go. Craig has the Day-Date 40. Has the Day-Date 40 fallen off the radar? Robert, here's the thing. The Day-Date 40 is very intriguing, but it might be too big for my purposes. I might have to go with a Day-Date 36. And here's the problem is I've gotten so spoiled by the accuracy of the spring drive, and now I'm thinking about getting a 9F, a watch with a 9F. I've been so spoiled, I don't know if I can go back to the Rolex. As much as I love the Day-Date, I really do love a Day-Date. It's just a fantastic piece, always has been. I don't know if I can go back to it. I will probably end up buying one. I've had, I think, 4 or 5 of them in my lifetime. Let me think. Let me count up the ones I've had. I had a 1966 1803 that was 10 years old. Let's see, 66, 76, no. 70. I got it in, I think, 1980. So it was about 14 years old or something when I got it. And it had some stretch, and I mean, it had been around, right? I got a pretty good deal on it. It had a conventional clasp. So I had that one. I had a white gold Day-Date that I got a real good deal on from an AD, brand new, that had been in their showroom for like 2 years and hadn't sold. It was an old price, new old stock. Got that. Then I got a my first 18238 Day-Date. Then I got an 18238. Well, it was a bark finished one. I got one of the bark finished Day-Dates. And then I got my last Day-Date that I had that I sold recently was an 18238. Was one of the last ones they made in early 2000. So how many was that? 1, 2. I think I've had 5. I think I've had something like 5 Day-Dates. And they've been fantastic. fantastic. And the one I had the longest by far was the most recent one, the 18238, and that was just a fantastic watch. Yeah, I may end up with another one. Who knows? Carlos, I saw a 36 yellow gold looking very good in the just arrived section of David SW mailing list today. There you go. Yeah, and Carlos has the white gold Date 840, which looks stunning on his wrist. I mean, really looks stunning. Carlos, would you like to call in and give us an update on your watch situation? Let me know if you'd like to call in. Sent you an email. Okay, 18238, 16.8K. Yeah, that's a lot of money, though. It better be nice. It better be really nice for that kind of money. Let me take a look. All right, I'm going to take a look first at your email, if I can get this thing to load. This laptop doesn't like to. Here we go. New arrivals. New arrivals. Yeah, I don't like that, the gold dial. That looks like it has the gold dial. I would probably pass on that. All right, let's get to Skype here. Let's get to Skype so that we can get Carlos here on the air. Carlos, call in when you can. I'm getting my headset rigged up here. Craig, so how do you compare the accuracy between Rolex Datejust 36 versus Grand Seiko Spring Drive or the High Beat? Well, the High Beat is going to be about the same as a Rolex. So, okay, let me grab this call. Rolex Datejust 36 versus Grand Seiko Spring Drive or the High Beat. Okay. Okay, so
hello, Craig.
Good. Hello. So you can turn the volume down already. Okay, good.
Yes. Let me turn on. I have stopped the fan because I think that is a bit messy.
Okay. So now before we get into your update, let's check out that Date 840 because I just noticed it's on your wrist. So we're going to check out the Date 840 here. All right. Look at that. I'll tell you, it looks gorgeous on Carlos's wrist. Now, Carlos is a beefy guy. I mean, he's a muscular, dude. So, you have to have a pretty powerful forearm to rock that puppy. But he's rocking it all right. That thing looks absolutely stunning. Look at that. Just take a moment of silence for that watch.
A moment of silence.
That is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, why can't other manufacturers figure out how to make a watch that's that gorgeous? Why is it so hard? Why is there the Date 8 and then there's pretty much everything else that's like not quite there? I mean, even some of the most attractive Patek Philippe watches ever made don't nail it like a Date 8 does. Because here's the thing about a Date 8 is it checks all the boxes. It works as a sport watch. It works as a rugged, heavy-duty use watch. It works as a dress watch. It works in every scenario. Whereas a Patek, dress watch doesn't do that. It doesn't check all those boxes. No other watch is as versatile. I could argue that no other watch is as versatile as a Date 8. No other watch can go into a boardroom and impress and can the same day go out to the beach and, frolic around the beach, and the same day be worn in a polo match, and the same day go diving, for gosh sakes. I mean, you could use that watch for anything you want. There's nothing that
Yeah.
watch can't do.
Yeah, mostly. As I've told you other times, sometimes I don't feel comfortable with. Yeah, it's clear that white gold is not as flashy as other metals, but sometimes I don't feel comfortable wearing it.
Well, but you could certainly wear that as a dress watch. It certainly would
Yeah,
meet the need as a
yeah,
dress watch, and it would look very elegant. And
yeah, for sure.
some people wouldn't know what it is. They wouldn't know that it's gold, right? But that's okay. They don't have to know.
Yeah,
It's just
probably something. Yeah, in my mind, and also, the fluted vessel is something. Uh, the fact, maybe one thing that is my concern is that also is like the typical Rolex. I think that anyone, nevertheless, like or don't like the Rolex is something that they recognize as Rolex. Maybe maybe they don't recognize as gold, but it's very recognizable watch, and also with the president bracelet. Well, it's something that, yeah,
a
if
lot of people, though, don't really know, to tell you the truth. You'd be surprised how
yeah,
many people are clueless when it comes to watches. I mean, especially the younger folks these days, right? A lot of them don't really care about watches. I mean, they've got their
yeah,
phone, and that's all they care about. So
yeah,
it's just an amazing piece. It's timeless. It's classic. And on your wrist, the 40 mil absolutely works. Absolutely
yeah.
works. But as you said, you could wear a 36 and it would look great too. Either one would
Yes,
look
as
great.
I told you, if this dial will not be available or something similar will be available on the 36, I might have gone for the 36. I tend, yes, I am quite big, but I tend to like smaller watches, honestly.
And Maxim is asking, Craig, why don't you like rose gold day date, only 18 karat gold? Well, 18 karat gold, they're both 18 karat gold. But yes, I like the yellow gold if I'm going to go that direction. If I want something to be like in your face, this is a gold watch, I want the classic 18 karat yellow gold. I don't want to go with some, you know, Johnny come lately variant of 18 karat gold, and when you get rose gold, you have different shades of it depending on the manufacturer. It kind of looks differently. Most 18 karat
Um,
yellow gold looks the same, and it's very, very classic, very recognizable. I don't see a reason to go with rose gold. Now, if I want something else, I would go with white gold like Carlos has right here. If I wanted something different and something to be under the radar, I would go with the white gold like he's got right there. But personally, my choice would be 18 karat yellow gold all the time, every day, because I can match it with my, my gold money clip. Even 14 karat gold matches it pretty closely. I'm a photographer and I observe things like colors and shading and things like that, and I'm very attentive to that. Like my pen here, right? If I got an 18 karat gold day date, my day date pretty much matched this. I have photos of this sitting next to my day date, and it pretty much matched to this gold here, right? And so, my cufflinks, my gold cufflinks, it'll match that. It'll just match everything. It just makes sense. It makes no sense whatsoever to buy the rose gold. There's no argument that would hold water as far as buying that, in my opinion. So, how big is your wrist, Carlos? I think it's about 7.5 or 7.
yeah. Yeah, we measure live. You remember some shows ago? Yeah, 7.5, maybe 7.6, depending on how you measure. 7.4,
Yeah.
7.5. I will say.
He's
But
a powerful guy. I mean, you don't want to mess with Carlos. I mean, I don't think you have to worry about somebody trying to step to you and take that watch because you're a pretty intimidating guy.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Whoa.
that I don't have the look of the typical victim, probably, but you know, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's my son, or maybe there are also places that you never know. If you go to Guatemala or
Yeah.
Honduras or Mexico, the thing is, you are you are a potential victim.
Yeah. So
Uh,
Thomas says that's a truly beautiful watch, Carlos. You will have an even more stunning collection when you add the Patek. There you go. Here you go,
yeah.
Craig. All right. He's looking at the SBGX 263. So let's pull that up. I'm going to pull it up here. Um, Give me a second. SBGX 263. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's see what we can find here. See if we can find this watch. So is it a no, it looks like it's a US model too. Let me see here. Bear with me, Carlos. I'm pulling up this watch that he's asking about.
Mm.
We'll see. Oh yeah, this is the very simple. It's a heritage collection. It's got the date. Um, that's a very classy watch. I think that will not have a screw down crown. So if you're going to be doing a lot of swimming with the watch, or if that's a concern, I would not buy the watch. But it is 37 mils and it's 10 mils thick. So it's a great size for an all-arounder dress slash sports watch. But again, it does not have a screw down crown. So keep that in mind. If you want something with the screw down crown, you got to step up to the one that I'm looking at with the blue dial. Let me see if I can find that one that I'm looking at. Find the image of it here. All right, there's the one I'm talking about that I'm looking at. That's 39 mils and it's about 12 mils thick. Now it has the screw down crown, so that's more sport capable. You know, swim, do whatever you want with it. Watch. So keep that in mind. Absolutely keep that in mind. So those are the kind of details, Carlos, that we look at on this channel. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We look at the details. So, did you see that one that I showed, Carlos?
Uh, no, in fact,
It's just a small. It's an
yeah,
entry level 9F that he's looking at. It's a nice, classy looking watch.
yeah,
Let's see here.
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
By the
let's.
way, I have received I have a new watch, a new one
Uh huh.
that I thought that I will not receive.
Okay.
Do you want to see it? It's not
Yes.
the kind of quality that you used
Sure.
to
Sure.
have.
Sure. Show
Yeah,
us. Show us.
yeah. It's this one.
All
You know
right.
what is it? What it is?
It's kind of hard to read the dial, but
Yeah.
what is it?
It's a Vostok. It's a Russian watch. The thing is, on last year I went to St. Petersburg.
Mm-hmm.
I've read about this kind of watches,
Yeah.
but you know that is a kind of tourist trap, and they were very well, not expensive, but around $200 there,
Yeah.
and $50 in eBay. I purchased it in December. I was considering it lost,
Mm-hmm.
but it came yesterday.
Oh wow.
$50, $50, something
Uh
a
huh.
diver
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
to the beach. it seems I've read something about this watch, and it seems that it may have a kind of horological value with
Does it
some
work?
innovations.
Does it work pretty
Uh,
good?
uh, it go fast like 30 seconds per day. It seems
Okay.
that can be regulated quite easily. In fact, considering the price, I am considering
Yeah.
an opening it myself.
Yeah.
And
D-
yeah, and
does
it's
it
fifty
does it have
dollars
a
something.
does it have a screw down crown?
Yeah, and in fact, the system of the screw down crown is one of the innovations.
Hmm.
The thing I read an article about this, and the thing is, the Russian, bueno, the Soviet army asked for a new design of a diver watch for Soviet divers,
Hmm.
and but they asked it specifically to go. It was a bit later than the Rolex Sub or the 50 Fathoms,
Hmm.
and they asked it to be something technically original that
Yeah.
they don't want. I assume that at that time the patents should be still in force,
Hmm.
and they define the kind of waterproofness of the Rolex and 50 Fathoms and like a brute force, fuerza bruta. Uh, Brute force is
Uh-huh.
correct,
Yeah.
and they bring some innovations about making the watch more waterproof as there is a bigger pressure on the depth,
Hmm.
and another innovation was on the crown. The interesting thing of the crown is that it's a screw crown, a screw down crown, but the thing is, it's not permanently connected to the crown stem.
Hmm.
eh, you have the feeling that it's wobbly,
Yeah.
wobble. It's not something that you have the feeling, but it's part of the design. It has a kind of clutch that only engages when you pull from the crown.
Uh-huh.
It's something, maybe something to go to the beach, and $50.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. And
it came with.
another viewer says he has one. Colin says he has one that's also 30 seconds a day fast.
Yeah.
So he's got one too. The same thing. Um,
It came with a bracelet that is, you can imagine, $50 watch. But in a NATO,
yeah.
the what is a bit annoying is that the locks are 18 millimeters. Then I had this strap from an old watch from my kid, and I've ordered a new, more, let's say, with more vivid colors.
Uh
And I
huh.
thought maybe for to go to the beach and to uh, if you can, if at a party like Steve's, you are in a situation that you may lose your
Colin
watch. That could be.
Colin in the chat says sometimes when he winds it up, he had to give it a few taps to get it to start again.
Yeah. No,
Captain Zed says it's a toy, not a watch. No, it's a watch. Come on, don't be. You don't have to insult it. It's a watch. It's a $50 watch, but it's a watch. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just curiosity. Yeah, it's something that if you have an expensive watch and you really are going to be in a situation.
So we got some advice from a broke person here, Mr. Blonde in the house. He's probably in his mom's basement. He's broke. He says you will lose so much money on those Seikos. Buy Rolex and save some money. Let me break some news to you, Mr. Blonde. When you buy expensive watches, you're not saving money. You can save money, or you can buy expensive watches. You can't do both, right? Buying an expensive watch is not the same as saving money. So if you're strapped for cash, if you're broke, the best thing to do is to save and invest. And then once you've gotten yourself on sound financial footing and you can afford to buy a luxury watch, go ahead and buy the luxury watch. But certainly do not think of the luxury watch as an investment. They are not investments. You will lose your shirt if you look at them as such. So I never recommend people use watches as investments. A watch is a consumable. It's something that you buy and you enjoy, just like a good suit or a good pair of shoes. It's a consumable. And do not count on making money or even preserving your money, because you will not do that. You will lose your shirt. whether it be a Rolex, a Patek Philippe, whatever it is. Don't listen to these people that say that you're going to buy a watch and 10 years later you're going to make a killing on it. It's not going to happen. They're going to make the killing by selling you the watch. You're not going to make the killing by owning it for 5 years. Doesn't happen. It's a myth. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way. Colin says, Captain Zed's up. That's why I sold it after I discovered AC3. This is a hobby for most, not a profession. Colin in the house. There you go. Well, I hope, well, it's a profession for those that sell watches, for dealers, those that buy and sell them. I mean, they make money, folks. Trust me, they do. They're not in this, it's not a philanthropic organization. They're in the business to make money. Don't you think, Carlos? Aren't they in the business to make money?
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
And also, but also, I think that, and myself, I have to recognize that I get on the height, and maybe as I told other times, in fact. All my watches, all the watches that I purchased, was coinciding with a situation or something that to me would worth. Also, maybe I was looking for an excuse to purchase the watch. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. People validate. Yeah, you go to people and they validate what you've already decided you want. Hey, is this a good idea? And they say yes, and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So here's somebody asked me in the chat, what do you think of Archie? I was talking to Steve today about Archie. Steve watched one of his videos. He said, man, that guy's crude and all this, And I said, the reason people watch Archie is the same reason people cannot turn away from a train wreck. If the train is wrecking, people are going to watch it, right? They watch Archie. He's like a train wreck. And, you never know what you're going to see. And he's an entertainer, and he's crazy, and he's all the things that Archie is. And I don't watch all of his videos. From time to time, I'll watch one of his videos if it's on a subject matter that I'm interested in. I've watched some of his videos. I had him do a review on a couple of my watches way back when. I've got a link on my website, on my Grand Seiko page. I've got a link to the review that Archie did for me. Archie's okay. I would be very cautious doing any kind of business with him, just from what I've heard. I mean, I'll just give you a heads up on that. But he's an entertainer. He's kind of crazy, and that's what Archie is. So it is what it is. I think it's pretty obvious what he is. So
but I have the feeling that at least I would say that in the last week I've seen. I honestly try. I used to watch almost all his videos. It's something entertaining for me at least. And I have the feeling that, like in the last week, I've seen 2 or 3 videos having more, let's say, common sense. I have the feeling.
Yeah, well, he does. Sometimes he makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Sometimes he makes a lot of sense. There's no doubt about that. And he's got a lot of knowledge.
No, for sure.
He could have really turned that brand into something profitable if he would have gotten rid of all the vulgarity and gotten rid of the trolls and all the nastiness. He could actually have some really good corporate sponsors. He could have some money, significant money flowing in, and he would have built up a much bigger following because he is talented and he is very smart. He knows the subject matter. But I think he shot himself in the foot by being in the gutter all the time. You cannot get corporate sponsors. I talked to Steve about advertising on his show, and Steve watched one of his shows and said, absolutely not. I wouldn't even consider it. And so that tells you something, right? And Steve wants to sell watches. Trust me, he does. But he wouldn't even consider getting involved with Archie. So that's a shame, because if he cleaned up his act, he really could do well financially. And you don't make money on YouTube views. I can tell you right now, you don't make money from that. What you make money from is sponsors, corporate sponsors that come in and pay to be part of what you're doing. And he could have done a lot of that, and I suspect he's doing very little of that because of the vulgarity. So it is what it is. Durr's got a flight booked to land in Baltimore at 5:20 p.m. on the 8th. Well, there you go. Colin says he was a lot more sane back in 2014 or so. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, we're gonna have to wrap this one up. It's been an hour, and Carlos, thank you for coming in.
Okay,
And
thank you to
and
you.
what do we have to do to convince you to come to the party next week? Is there anything we can do to get you to come? A lot of people are
No,
coming.
yeah, yeah. The thing is that I really hate being in an airplane. I don't
I
hate to
agree.
fly because in fact I am I have bueno I started the private pilot and I like the airplanes, but I hate flying in an airline and all the mess of the
The
airport.
commercial air travel.
Yeah,
I agree. That's why I travel by motor coach most of the
yeah.
time. Um,
And this
so
I traveled a lot on the last year,
mhm.
and I have some other plans for the rest of the year that includes some travel and. And honestly, I will be looking forward of knowing you in person, and I will be very happy of that. Also, you know that maybe I am not able to really appreciate that much the Grand Seiko brand. It's something that yeah, I appreciate as great watches, but in my case, it's not something that really is a big interest of me. But I will be like. To be there drinking that Japanese whiskey and having
Well,
fun, and also,
he's gonna have some great food there, and there's gonna be a
yeah,
bunch of people there that are gonna have other watches there as well. It's not just gonna be Grand Seiko. There's gonna be a lot of watches people are gonna be talking about. But maybe you can join the live stream. We're gonna try to
yeah,
do a
yeah,
live
that for
stream,
sure.
and maybe you
That
can
for sure.
be involved in that. So, all right, I'm gonna let you
Okay,
go. And anything else you want to
okay.
say before you go?
No, just that I was missing you a lot. I understand that you have a lot of work at this time of the year, but and at your disposition if at some time you want to add some content, some content or whatever.
Okay.
What do you need?
Well, very good.
Okay,
We will be in touch. Thank you, my
okay.
friend.
Thank you very much.
All
Okay, bye
righty.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So there you go, Carlos in the house. Anybody that has a date 840 in white gold can join this show anytime. That's what I say. Let's see here. Did Carlos Villas visit the Grand Seiko AD on Rodeo Drive? That's a good question. We should have asked him that before he left. Darn it. We'll have to ask him that. Hey, always ask these questions early on when we bring a guest on so that we don't forget. And so that, we've had this before where a question's been asked right when the person leaves. So maybe he'll look in the chat and answer that question. So take these earplugs out. The only downside to having a guest is I have to put those things in. They're not a lot of fun. But, and remember, madeinusaforever.com. Speaking of corporate sponsors, there you go. Buy your goodies, your Made in USA items there. And Timeless Razors. This is Made in USA. Timeless Razor. I think it's timelessrazor.com. Or is it Timeless Razors? I think they might have both. Anyway, search Timeless Razors and you'll find them. These guys make these things, hand make these things in the U.S., and they are really heavy duty, really well made. This one's a stainless steel one. I also have one made of bronze. This one has the longer handle, which I really like. So if you're going to get one, I would recommend you get the one with the longer handle. But the bronze one with the shorter handle, it works good too. I keep it in the shower when I shave in the shower. I keep the bronze one in there. And then this one I keep by the sink for when I shave other times. But really nice, really well done piece. So, let's see. Dur's in motion. Absolutely. Dur is absolutely in motion. The definition of being in motion. I saw very nice Grand Seikos in an AD in Orlando. Okay. I never used non-Gillette. Is it really a better feeling? Carlos. Okay. Okay, so here's the deal with these double-edged razors, Carlos. I've always used, like, lately I was using Harry's razors. I don't know if they have them in Panama, but it's the typical plastic head that you change that has like multiple blades in it, you know, like Gillette Fusion or whatever, you know, that you have the handle and then you change the blade, the plastic blade, right? That's what I've used for years. And then I had people tell me about the old double-edged razors, which is basically what this is. This is like the way our grandfathers used to shave. And this thing comes apart. Do this carefully so I don't cut myself, because the blade's right here, right? And you unscrew this. This is the way this one works. Okay, they all work differently, but they all use the same blades. When you open this up, the blade is right here, right? The double-edged blade, right there, right? And it's dirt cheap. The blade is dirt cheap. Of course, I will not reuse this one. I will throw this away. But you just change the blade like that, and then you just shave with it, you know, the two sides. And I think you get a more comfortable shave, every bit as close, more comfortable, and a lot cheaper. These blades are like 10 cents a piece versus $2 a piece for Harry's. Now the Harry's do probably last twice as long. So let's take the price in half. Let's say it's 10 cents versus $1. It's still 1/10 the price. Okay? So so yeah, I really am I've been converted over to double-edged shaving. And now this particular razor, this particular timeless, right, that's just the handle and to hold the blades, right? You buy the double-edged blades, like I say, you can buy them pretty cheap. Buy like a box of 100 of them or whatever. There's different brands of blades. There's feather blades. There's just different kinds. And you just get the blade that you really like, and then you just go with it. And there's companies that sell an assortment of blades, so you can get like 20 different kinds of blades, and you can try them until you figure out which one you really like, and then you just buy a whole bunch of that particular one. But I really think it's the way to go. I'm convinced now that the good old-fashioned double-edged razors are the way to go. So that's the deal with the double-edged razors. David, back from a meeting. Sorry, we're wrapping up, David. You're right here at the end of the show. So that's how that works. I may do some more shows. I've got some work to do this week. We've got some things going on, but I might do some more shows before leading up to Steve's party. And Steve hopefully will be doing a show this Friday, maybe as soon as this Friday. So keep our fingers crossed. We'll see what we can do. All right, everybody. Let me figure out how to stop this broadcast. Go over here and say stop. And I'm going to say complete event. And we are done. Hey, click subscribe. Click that little bell. Click that little bell. And we're going to complete this event.